Well, my friends, the first video in Rome, Italy. What an exciting time, and you know what? I'm still skating this old school board because I've been enjoying it. I was originally going to bring this with me just as a little buffer to see me through until I buy a normal board from a skate shop here in Rome, but I'm enjoying this board so damn much that I've decided I'm just going to keep it on for the whole trip, save a bit of extra cash, and talk about the pros and cons of having a board of this shape, because you know what? I just might be sticking with it full time. Let's get into it. So one of the main things of having a board like this, a staple for it, and it goes with the vibe so much, is having these things. Now these are called rails. I don't know why they're called rails, maybe because it helps you slide on a rail. But anyway, as you can see, these are creature glow in the dark ones. Doesn't help you much in a 30-degree day, but you know what I mean. Basically what these are for, is for when you hit a ledge that might be a bit crustier than usual, it makes it slide just as if it was a permanently waxed up rail, and it makes it so you don't have to wax it, thus making it only more slippery for you and less dangerous for everyone else. So if only for that, I can see benefits in rails already. So obviously the rails you can put on any board you like, even a normal shape board, it literally makes no difference. They're all the same size, shape, whatever. But let's talk about the nitty gritty that makes this board so good in my opinion. Number one, the board is so much shorter than all other boards. I'd say so much. It's probably about a good inch, 2 inches shorter, and that makes a massive difference to me for two reasons. I'm going to go over those first, and then I'll go over why it may not be as good for certain people. First one is obviously no complies, right? The kind of tricks that were invented on this board, like this. So we all know the no complies. The reason why they're so much easier on a board like this is because it's shorter. Let me explain to you why that makes a difference. So for example, right, when I'm doing a no comply 180, if I was to step off with the front foot, hit it like that and jump back onto it, with a normal board, when you take the front foot off and pop it round, and it spins like this, you've got so much less space to hit your leg. With a normal shaped board, it's common that it can come round like this, hit your leg if your leg's not far enough out this way. So obviously when you're spinning the board round with that foot, having a shorter board makes it so much easier to get that leg out of the way, and thus making no complies, and especially no complies where you spin the board. For example, this 360 that I'm about to show you. As you can see, it makes it not only so much easier to get it all the way around and get that leg out of the way like I just said, it also means that the board is lighter so that it spins way easier and it's easier to get the full 360 rotation rather than doing 180 and then pivoting the other 180. Now my second benefit for this board is obviously ties into that first one kinda, and that is because it's so much lighter, like I just said. Quite windy down here. So that when you flip it, and actually this brings me on to the first negative point of the video, and that is the fact that it is lighter and shorter. Means that if you haven't already mastered the trick that you're doing, it might be a bit more difficult to land on. While it does flip easier, keep that in mind, it's harder to spot the landing because you've got less board to land on. Makes sense, right? Although, the part where the board's wide, it is way wider than a normal board, so as long as you're landing like this, you're gonna be completely fine. My least favorite thing about these kind of boards, and the only thing that's stopping me from definitely considering doing it full time, is when you do a trick that doesn't fully rotate the board 360, so like a shove it, right? Obviously with these boards, your tail is a different size to your nose, so that when you're riding it with the board the other way around, it can feel extremely weird. So let's say I do a normal shove it. Now I've got to use this tiny little tail to navigate myself around with this massive ass nose. Although you can just do a nice fakey trick and get yourself back to normal, so it's not too bad. So my personal opinion on this old school skateboard is I absolutely love it, and I recommend giving these a try to anybody. I literally borrowed this off a friend as a joke, just to give myself a bit of a out of my comfort zone feel for my next few skate sessions to try and get a bit better. But I'm enjoying it so much, this might just be my full-time board. And to celebrate that, I'm gonna give away one of these boards in this video. All you've got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, comment what board you're riding and the first trick you're going to learn on it when you get it, and I'll see you in the next one.